Not me, folks. This.
Chinook, a wind that blew through Canada in the fall of 1928. But the biggest Chinook of them all was Dudley Do-Right, who blew through Canada at the turn of the century.
Farewell, Mother. I am off to the movies.
Take care of yourself, son, and don't forget to write.
Dudley spent the next 3 hours in what he thought was a darkened theater, but was actually a sewer in downtown Ripsaw Falls.
Oh my, I am guilty of trespassing.
The family code was a do-right must always do right. So the conscience-stricken lad turned himself in to the closest mounted police post, which was 500 miles away in northern Alberta. This particular post was then under the able command of Inspector Ray K. Fenwick, a full-blooded Canadian born and raised in Bogota, Colombia.
Ordinarily, I'd give you 20 years for your crime.
You can have it for nothing if you wish.
The inspector knew a comeback when he heard it.
How would you like to be a mountie?
I would rather live in Philadelphia.
But when Dudley saw the official mountie uniform, particularly the string that was attached to the pistol, he was hooked.
A mountie I shall be.
After about an hour and a half of basic training, he was ready for his first job. That night, outside the Ripsaw Regional Reserve, a skulking figure, clad in black, stole up to a rear window, opened it, and entered into the bank illegally.
I smell money, pelf, mammon, filthy lucre.
The gentleman with the withdrawal symptoms is that villainous rascal, Snidely Whiplash.
I may be a Harvard man, but there's nothing I like better than picking a Yale lark.
But Whiplash was going to get it early, for who should be waiting inside the vault? None other than our hero, Dudley Do-Right, who had mistaken it for a telephone booth.
Elevate your hand skyward, Whiplash, else I shall fire in your general direction with my mountie pistol, with the cord on it.
Do-Right, what do you want from me?
A nickel to make my phone call, then you shall accompany me to prison, where you will do time, and a few other magazines too.
Curses foiled again.
Action! Adventure! Romance! You'll find it all in Ripsaw Falls, a brand new moving picture starring Hardly With It as Dudley Do-Right.
This is about the squarest mountie I've ever seen.
That's right, sir. Square shooting Dudley Do-Right at your service.
And also starring as the caramelized apple in Dudley's sauce, lovely Steel Magnolia as Nel Fenwick.
Oh, hello, Dudley. You bashful boy. Turn around and tell me old man you see your little Nell. Oh, I'm sorry, Dudley. You let me put it back for you.
And both last and least as that odious, nefarious, despicable, dastardly villain, rash behavior as Snidely Whiplash.
Now who'd you expect? Boris Badenoff? Do-Right, you'll never do right again.
Is this where our hero goes all to pieces? Or will goodness prevail in the final reel? Don't expect me to tell you. You'll just have to go see Ripsaw Falls and find out for yourself. Tranquility had settled over Ripsaw Falls. Birds were singing, butterflies were flying, and fish were swimming, including the poorest fish of all, Dudley Do-Right.
That ice is certainly thick.
So is your head, Dudley.
The vision of loveliness administering first aid to our hero is the haunting and ever-popular Nel Fenwick. She and Dudley have been engaged for 22 years.
You need someone to take care of you.
I have my horse.
You need a woman.
What is a woman?
I am a woman, Dudley, and I have decided to let you marry me.
10 minutes later, they stood before the preacher.
And if there is anyone present who objects to this union, let him speak now.
The gentleman about to object is Dudley's lifelong enemy, the malevolent Snidely Whiplash.
I don't know what it means, but I object.
Whiplash, you cur! So you would ruin my wedding, eh?
As a starter, yes.
Dudley picked up the thing nearest to him, which happened to be Nell, and threw it.
Aha! I have her, and you shall never get her back, or any other part of her.
Quick, Do-Right, give chase.
High above Ripsaw Falls sat Snidely Whiplash's nefarious hideout.
Why are you doing this, you devil?
Because, Miss Fenwick, I love you. Well, let's say I like you a lot.
But I despise you.
You won't be mine?
Never.
Well, if I can't have you, neither can Do-Right.
He tied Nell to a log, pulled the lever, and started her on her way to the teeth of a giant saw. Fortunately, the conveyor belt was in need of oiling, and the trip was a slow one.
I must get word to Dudley.
3 days later,
I ran all the way from Whiplash's sawmill. I have an urgent letter for Constable Do-Right. It's for Nell.
it's from Nell, all right.
Well, aren't you going to open it?
That would be against the law, sir. You see, there isn't a stamp on the envelope.
And there you have the reason why Dudley rode to the sawmill, dashed inside where Nell was still on her way to the saw, talked her into sticking a stamp on the envelope, dashed outside the sawmill, rode all the way back to the post, and said to the inspector,
It's from Nell, sir. She needs help.
Well, stand there, Durag. Don't just do something.
It took them an hour and a half to straighten out that last line. But eventually, Dudley was on his way to the rescue. Would he make it in time?
Oh, save me, save me!
See Ripsaw Falls for the cutting conclusion of this melodrama. Electrifying action and an unbearably good time. Run, don't walk to your nearest moving picture theater to see Ripsaw Falls. A soaring, smashing, high-kicking Canadian cliffhanger starring Dudley Do-Right. Ripsaw Falls. See it with someone you don't mind sitting next to. Ripsaw Falls, and sometimes it doesn't. One of the times it didn't was back in the year 1901. There it was, pouring itself all over the place, and then suddenly, without warning, honeymoon couples stood transfixed. Who was responsible for this black deed? Who else but that scoundrel, Snidely Whiplash, who had concocted a diabolical scheme to undermine Canada's economy? From a travel booth at the bottom of the now dry falls.
Honeymooners, listen to me. Don't spend your money in Canada. Come to beautiful Okefenokee Swamp in the lush Florida Everglades.
Scores of couples disappointed by Ripsaw's inactivity rushed to the charlatan, and in no time at all, the news reached the mounted police.
Durag, all the honeymooners are going to Florida.
Tell me you are joshing, Inspector.
Oh, wish I were.
We must do something.
Do-Right wasted no time in getting to Ripsaw. He arrived just as Snidely Whiplash was making the dam even more secure than ever.
You up there, drop that rock.
When our hero awoke, he found himself tied to a railroad track, and the 1202 was on its way.
Whiplash, you black-hearted scoundrel. What are you up to besides no good?
It's a new game called Eraser in which I get to rub you out.
Just around the bend, the 1202 was right on schedule. This was it then. This was our valiant hero's swan song. His future would all be past. Nevermore would his innate goodness run the Canadian wilds. Will Dudley escape the bone-crushing wheels of injustice? Will Ripsaw Falls fall again? Don't miss this exciting melodrama for the answer.
You sent for me, sir? The Mounties always get their man.
You're mine now, Do-Right.
Oh, you're under arrest.
Foiled again. Please, not jail.
Curses, foiled again.
Hey, that's my line.